Good evening. I'm John White. On behalf of my obligations to American Scraps' board, I've agreed to periodically respond to some correspondence sent in by you, our faithful readers, with exquisite taste. Our first note comes in today from Flint Lancaster, who asks, "Hey, so is this still today's document illustrated, or what's going on?" Flint, this is an excellent question, and one which we've been receiving some variant on for a long time now. I'd like to take this opportunity to set the record straight. American Scraps is, in a word, an American institution. For generations, this firm, this factory, and the stalwart men and women in my employ have taken seriously my mandate to be our nation's finest converter of American scraps, detritus, artifacts, and documents into comic strips. You see, these piles of junk we intake daily aren't mere waste. They're brimming with resonance, potential, and relevance, and it's only our patented conveyor belt system that converts them into everyday consumable comic strips. Today's document illustrated, on the other hand, was a fly-by-night pale imitation put on by someone not merely content just to steal our creative output, but to take my very name. The act was appalling. Fortunately, among our brain trust here at American Scraps is our incomparable legal counsel, who assures me they've since reduced today's document to nothing more than a mere redirect back to our august enterprise. Now, as to why this took 6 years to fix, I'm sorry to say, Flint, but the truth is asbestos. In late 2010, we received a standard building inspection and were found to be just technically short of code. Surprisingly to me, that effort took a little over half a decade. But now that it has been fixed, I'm happy to say you can look forward to a new run of industrial comic strip output. Our next letter comes to us from Burnt Noglins, who asks, "The merch is cool, but I've already bought 14 posters and 78 mugs. What else you got?" Burnt, thanks for writing, and thanks for your business. Indeed, I take no small pride in the quality and the craftsmanship of our expertly hand-pulled American Scrap screen prints, or the industrial strength of our working man's mug. Indeed, I dream of the day when all boys and girls start their morning coffee in one of our mugs. But you've asked about what's on the horizon, and that's where I'm particularly proud, and the boys in R&D are very proud of what we've got cooking for the holiday season. So in the fall catalog, you can look forward to the American Scraps tooth powder, the American Scraps ladder, the American Scraps cat carrier, the American Scraps cat, the American Scraps shed, the American Scraps Form 1040 Schedule C, the American Scraps car, the American Scraps stapler remover, and pending a final vote from the zoning board, the 600-acre luxurious American Scraps luxury golf course and resort. Steve Hubcaps asks, "What George Washington sound like?" Steve, this is an excellent question. Owing to the fact that he lived his entire life within the 18th century, and that he was both born a British subject and himself ascended to be a senior colonial military officer, the question of George Washington's timbre has plagued historians for a long time. So to help us resolve the matter, I'm joined today by General, Statesman, and President George Washington. Mr. President, thank you for being here. Would you mind sharing with us a sentence, any sentence, just so long as it comes from the heart?
American Scraps is the finest website I've ever seen, and I endorse it.
Mr. President, that was stirring. That's all the time we have tonight. For American Scraps, I've been John White. Godspeed. And may sweet liberty continue to steer the ship of this republic across the seas of democracy. Good night.